Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are power washing out and going disinfecting the calving pen. So as you can see from where the last cow and calf was, it's a small bit messy, so we have the power washer right there. I just need to power wash those mats, take them out, power wash under them and put everything back for the next cow that's due to calf, which is very shortly. And also we need to get a wheelbarrow and take all that stuff and put it out to the box just outside there. The power box isn't on the 135 at the moment because we have the manure shaker on it, so we'll just have to throw whatever is there into a wheelbarrow and then wheel it outside there to where the transport box is and empty it that way. So that'll be the first job to do before we get to power washing. Otherwise, once we start power washing, it'll have that sort of flittered all over the place. So we'll clear that first. And as I'm recording this video, it's Wednesday the 1st of May, and we had a cow, 0183, was due on the 30th of April, which is this white-headed one here. You can see her tag number there, 0183. She's next to calf. She was due yesterday on the 30th of April. But again, she'll probably bring a week or 10 days or whatever on with her. But it's always best to have the calving pen prepared before then. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'll set up the power washer, plug all the lances and hoses into it. I have them all there. I have to fill this with water. We have a tap right here, and we can get to power washing. So I could actually have this filling with water while I'm getting rid of this stuff. So yeah, I'll get that filling with water. I'll get a wheelbarrow. We'll put that into the wheelbarrow and we'll empty it into the transport box outside. Okay, so I have the mats power washed, as you've seen. The reason I was blowing it in that way instead of out this way, and I might do the same when I'm power washing the concrete, is because one, there's a little gully there. You'll be able to see the water flow into it. I'll keep blowing the power washer into it just to make sure it's not getting clogged up or anything like that, like I was doing there a minute ago. So again, instead of pushing it out this way, making all that sort of wet, then I'd have to sort of power wash all this as well, because there are a lot of silage and stuff that's on the ground from piling up the dung when the cow and calf was in here, when you were scraping the dung out and leaving it here. All that stuff will be sort of, you'll probably see it once it gets wet. So I'll try it first anyways. I forgot to do that, Matt, but I'll do that one off camera. But I'll push I start sort of somewhere here at the edge and start moving my way in power washing that way. And what I might do as well is any of the heavier stuff, like that stuff there, I'll get the shovel and probably the wheelbarrow again and just put it into the wheelbarrow, so I'm not having that go out towards the gully and outside. Again, you can see a lot of stuff there. And I might quickly I might get the scraper and scrape down the walls here as well. I could put the power washer on it, but the power washer is a bit too strong, too severe on it, because you can see here it's taking away the plaster and the blocks then for the wall is being exposed. So I mightn't put too much of I might step a distance back with the power washer and just sort of wetten it a small bit, and then go over it with the scraper and scrape any of that stuff down, and then scoop up that with the shovel and put it into the wheelbarrow. So that is going to be the plan. Another thing is, now a lot of people, when I'm doing a lot of power washing and stuff, a lot of people say wet the ground or wet the mats or wet whatever before you actually power wash it down. So obviously the first mat is in at the very back. That's the first mat, that's the second mat, and this is the last mat I power washed. So the first one was up along that wall, the second one was in the middle, and the last one was up in that corner there. So I started off sort of power washing it properly the way I would, and it was coming off very slowly. And then I sort of remembered what everybody would be saying in the comments is to wet it. So I just used the power washer and quickly hosed down, put a bit of water onto it and wet the whole mat. Obviously the first mat I power washed didn't get much soaking. Well, I wetted it, but I didn't let the water settle into the dung, if you wish. So that one was the more harder and longer one to power wash. This one was more easier, and the last one I just whizzed through it, no bother, got that done in 2 or 3 minutes. So you could sort of tell the longer you leave the mat soaking in water, the easier it is, because I left that mat not too long, it was harder. The middle one, I left it the duration that I was power washing the first mat, and it was sort of way easier than the first one. And then obviously the last one was the easiest, because I left it soaking in the water for the duration that I was washing the first mat and the second mat. So that one was the last mat I power washed, was way easier and way quicker to power wash. And again, I'll have to do this one again off camera, but I'll do the same. I'll go over it with the power washer and wet it, and then go over it properly, then taking all the stuff off it. So yeah, I'll do that off camera, and the next time you'll see me, I'll probably give these a quick wet down and then scrape them off the wall, and then take up all the heavier dung and poo that's on the ground and put it into the wheelbarrow, and then we'll give the ground a quick wash. Now this area here where the mats were lying on top of won't need too much power washing, because obviously there wasn't much elements getting to this ground because the mat was covering it, the mat was over it. It's where the mats weren't covering the concrete and where the concrete is exposed, like this area here, is where most of the power washing will be done. So yeah, I'll soak this as well. I'll soak all the ground in water as well, let it soak in a small bit, and then go over and power wash it properly to clean it. And then it's just disinfecting once all this is done. So yeah, let's get back to work. Now the walls are scraped, whether the camera is able to pick it up or not. So off camera, when I was doing the mat that was here, which is now along with the other mats, I wet that mat with the power washer first. I wet it down there, and then I went around and I wet the walls with the power washer, and then I went and washed the mat properly with the power washer, and then obviously then I set up the camera and I started scraping down the walls. So they came out fairly good. Some people might say, well, once you start power washing again, won't a lot of stuff from the ground fly back up and stick to the walls again? When I scraped down the walls, I made sure I picked up as much of the heaviest stuff as possible. Any stuff that was lying on the ground and any stuff that came off the walls, I scraped it up, piled it up against the wall there and scooped it into the wheelbarrow. So I made sure that I scraped up and got as much of the heavy stuff as possible. It's alright if there's still a small bit left on the ground, and it's alright if some of that stuff flies back up to the wall and sticks to it, because once all the animals, the heifers, the bullocks, the cows, the calves and whatnot, once the slatted house is emptied and silage season is at the tail end, all that shed will be power washed, the pens will be properly power washed, this will be properly power washed, and the crush will be properly power washed. Basically all the shed will be properly power washed in preparation when the time comes at the end of the year when we're bringing the cattle back into the shed. So this isn't supposed to be a good proper big up clean. It's supposed to just get rid of any of the poo that were stuck to the ground or the mats from the previous cow and calf. Just get rid of that, so I could go around and disinfect the whole place. So when the new calf comes, because usually a newborn calf is more prone to infections than a calf that's a month or 2 months old. So just quickly power wash the whole place down and give it a quick squirt of disinfectant. So yeah, and as you can see, all the water is slowly leaving as well. It's going out the little gullet there. I'll have to blow that again with the power washer because it's kind of small. It's a small bit blocked up, but other than that, it's all ready to go. The next job to do is to actually power wash the concrete floor, and it has water over it. But what I might do off camera is just go over the concrete floor with the power washer, give it a quick rinse down. I'll go and have a bite to eat, and then when I come back, the water should be sitting there long enough and soaked in long enough that it should be way easier to power wash the floor. So yeah, I'll quickly do that. I'll have a bite to eat, and then I'll come back and we'll get back to power washing. Okay, here it is. It's probably a well-known brand to a lot of people and farmers. It's the J's Fluid Outdoor Cleaner. Hygienically cleans pet houses, clears and disinfects paths, patios and driveways, deodorizes and cleans drains, cleans pots and greenhouses, and kills 99.9% germs. So this is what we use. You have your safety instructions. Obviously you have your table here, and what I'm looking at here is to hygienically clean pet housing, including kennels, hutches, coops, etc. The same for cow pens and calving pens and all that. So this is the mixture I'll be following under that heading. Is 150 millimeters of the J's fluid to 5,000 millimeters of water. I might need 5,000 millimeters of water, so I can do the maths and find out how much I'll actually need and what the ratio is. But as I mentioned, hygienic cleaning of animal housing application. Remove all contents. That's what we done. We removed any poo that was there and we power washed it out, so that stage is done. Wash down using diluted G's fluid to see the table below. We've done that. Rinse after 30 minutes. Return bedding and animal to a dry, well ventilated home. So obviously we've washed it and all that. Spray the J's fluid onto the pen or onto the ground or whatever, and leave it there to settle for about 30 minutes, and it says to rinse after 30 minutes. So there's two options I have here. Is I can make the mixture of that. We have a hand pump there. I don't know if it's working or not. I'll have to test it. If it's not working, we have a knapsack just there, which will do all the better. But what I could do is two ways. Mix the mixture, spray it on the ground and the walls and the mats, leave it there for 30 minutes, and then I could just get a hose or something and rinse it away. Or I could get a hose, wet the whole area again, and then spray that stuff onto it, and then it's just finished. I won't have to be coming back 30 minutes after and doing all that stuff, because that's what we done in there. And it worked. It disinfected the pens where the calves were, and the calves never got sick that way we done it. So, you know, so that's what I might actually do, is get a hose, wet the pen, give it a light sprinkle of water just to wet it up again, and then we'll make the mixture of the water and G's fluid and disinfect the whole lot. So I'll get a hose ready and wet the ground again. I went over this with the hose and a nozzle on the hose. That's it here. I had it on a sort of like a sprinkle setting, and I sprinkled it all around the walls, on the floor and on the mat. As you can see, hopefully anyways, that it is wet. So this should act as a 2-in-1. I should hit two birds with the one stone here, hopefully. Although, as I did mention before, this is basically what we done when disinfecting the calf creep. We didn't rinse it out. We just sprayed the disinfectant over the wet floor, and after 30 minutes it would have rinsed itself off. So instead of spraying it on a dry floor, leaving it 30 minutes, and then coming in again and rinsing it off, I'm spraying it on a wet floor, leave it 30 minutes, and it should rinse itself. So we'll set the camera up. I have the knapsack here. I have a 2-litre mixture in this. Should be more than enough to spray all the mat, the floor and the walls, and then that would be that pen that would be this pen then cleaned and disinfected for the next cow when she's going to calf. So we'll set the camera up and we'll get to disinfecting the pen. Now that's all that disinfected, as you've seen me. The knapsack, and I don't think it was 2 litres, it was more on the lines of 2.5 to 3 litres, because it was hard to see, because it's a yellow container. It was kind of hard to see where the water was, and it was hard to see where the numbers were, because the numbers were sort of the same colour as the container itself, but they were more sort of in a braille type thing. They were, you know, you could feel them. But yeah, there was enough in there. It done the walls, done the mats, it done the floors, it done a lot. So that pen now is power washed, cleaned out, and disinfected for the next cow that's due, which she is still out here at the moment. This is that whitehead one there. If I can get a look at her elder. Get back. Her elder is kind of building up. It's kind of... Go on, get back. Kind of hard to see, but she's slowly building up an elder, so that's a good sign. That means she's producing milk, and she should be ready to calf in the next coming days, hopefully. Currently she is 2 days past her due date, but for the likes of a cow, they could bring a week to 10 days, possibly even a bit more on with them. So, you know, as long as the calf comes out alive and healthy and strong, that's the main thing. It doesn't matter how long it takes her to calf, how many days she brings on past her due date, as long as the calf is okay. That's the main thing. But that is basically it for today's video. Pen is ready for her. It's all up to her now. She's centre stage. I've my work done. So it's all down to her whenever she decides to calf. But yeah, that is the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my merch. The link to that will be down in the description. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.